What is going on, everybody? Tom Swift back in for another episode of FUT Live. Today we're back with Joey and Felix for our first ever FUT Live recording that we're going to put on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you already know this. If you're not, if you normally listen to us through Spotify or iTunes or anything like that, it'll also be on YouTube. So if you want to see our faces, trying to get on YouTube, just another place that a lot of people listen or watch podcasts. I know I have been in quarantine a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I usually listen to podcasts in the car when I'm on my commute. Now without a commute, I've just been going to YouTube and watching a lot of them. So trying to get on there, just another place to listen to us. But yeah, no, we're here. Weekend League is back. AI blocks are back. Disconnects are back. Slow gameplay is back. No, we're here. So yeah, I know Felix is almost done his Weekend League. Joey and I think have thrown in the towel for the weekend. So yeah, how has the experience been, boys? We were pretty positive last week, so things change.
Do you want to start, Joey? Or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I don't mind, as my camera just fell over. God, this is so bad. This is so bad as the first.
We officially decided to go to YouTube. We've been talking about it, but webcams are sold out everywhere because of COVID, because, teachers working from home all need webcams. I know, even my mom, who's a secretary, has for her first time ever having a webcam at home and stuff like that. So yeah, the Logitechs have been really on back order for quite a long time. And if you do find them, they're on eBay, and they're originally I got mine for on sale for 60. I think they're usually 80, and I think if you're lucky, you can find one on eBay for 100. So it's not worth it right now to get it. So Joey's Elgato actually did a good thing and came out with a app on your phone that you can create your phone and make it a webcam.
Yeah, which is what I'm using now.
Well.
Yeah, it's good quality. I mean, it's got the iPhone camera, which is fine, but the only thing is I don't have a stand for it, so it's sitting on an angle, and I look all weird because it's not facing in a position where it's normal, and then I have to hold it up now with my hand. So great first trial. But yeah, I mean, webcams have been sold out since last time I checked was July, and I checked again last night. I was just at Target, and they were still sold out. So you can't get them. So I'm just gonna have to use this. But as far as Weekend League goes, I mean, it was actually good the first few games, except that one substitution glitch. So I scored a goal, as you guys know. Rob, you went through the same thing. Scored a goal, tried to make a sub, and then my game froze and crashed, and I got the loss 4 games in, and I was winning, which kind of just killed the mood right away. Right away, I just killed the mood. I'm like, man, now, because I'm trying to hit Elite 1, not to go pro or to play competitively or anything, just an individual goal. So I was thinking to myself, now I have to win essentially 28 games without trying to lose one. Which was just, I knew it wasn't going to be possible because I need that buffer to lose later on. So as soon as I start off 4-1, I was like, it's not going to happen. And then I got to 21-3, and I just lost my 4th game in right before our pod. So that's what it was. Gameplay has been kind of weird. A lot of people are saying the patch has changed some things. I personally don't see anything change with the patch. I just feel like it's just the gameplay hasn't been as smooth. The servers have been overloaded. Obviously, the first 2 promos have been coming out, so maybe that has something to do with it. Gameplay has definitely not been as crisp or smooth as it has been the previous few weeks. But I've been able to manage and kind of get around it some way, just playing a lot slower, playing a lot of patient build-up rather than trying to, go from one end to another quickly. So it is what it is. At this point, it's been 3 years of poor gameplay, so it's just... that's what it is.
Before I'm sharing my experience, I'm just going to need 1 minute because I've put a new light bulb in before we started recording to kind of fix the lighting.
This is a great trial. For the first time doing live.
It smells burnt. I'd like to take it out again, so I'm just gonna.
How about while you do that, mute yourself, and I'm gonna give my Weekend League experience instead of cutting this. We've hardly ever cut anything out of this podcast, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. It feels like them just chilling, talking to people about FUT. So I'll give mine. I went through the same thing. So yeah, if you don't know the glitch, as long you can make subs, so you can pause and make subs, but you cannot do it
is hot.
Right.
Not good. Well, I've done that. Light bulb's gone. Lighting's different. Apologise for that. I didn't think it was gonna threaten to set the house on fire, but if I can avoid that from happening, I'd rather do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to finish, or do you want to go?
Rob off, by the way.
I'm guessing you didn't have headphones on because
Oh
I was
yeah,
talking.
no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
No, so yeah, the glitch is that if you pause it right after a goal, basically during the goal, so like replay obviously, and you make subs, you press play, your game starts to load back up. The replay, it cuts like the goal replay, freezes, black screen. Now you're on the Xbox menu. So that's basically the glitch for anyone that didn't know already, which I assume most people have. It's been spread around it's been in the game since the start, but I think a few people it was so, I mean, how often do you exactly pause the game right when you score? Or, for me, what happened is I paused the game before I scored, actually, because it was the 85th minute, and I want to make some subs. Happened to score in like the 87th or 90th. I can't really remember exactly what it was. So I'd already paused the game and then completely forgot I just scored, made the sub, boom, black screen, done. All of a sudden, I've now taken 2 undeserved losses here. So, and that's where I decided to quit. I said I'm not playing another weekend league game till that's fixed, because it's been in the game since week 1. It's such an easy thing to fix, and in the grand scheme of fixing things in FIFA, this has to be one of the easier things, because it's just a glitch where the game crashes. And we've obviously had that in other games. If you play other games, the games crash and stuff. Those are usually the easiest ones to fix. So I'm not touching the game. I'll play the game. I don't mind friendlies, but I'm not touching weekend league till then. I also in weekend league played the drop back 1 depth. Couldn't beat it. Guy had Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Figo, and Renato Sanchez, all that stuff. Meta, what you expect in weekend league, and I just couldn't beat it. So I was already angry at that. And then after that game, I was 3-2. After that Ronaldo Figo game, I was 3-2 and matched up against a former top 100 player. So, so at 3-2, matching up against a top 100 player, I took a little break for the night. At 3-3, I quit. He beat. I mean, if you want to talk about deserved losses, that was maybe one of the most deserved losses I've taken in my entire life. He beat me 2-0 in like 6 minutes, and it was some of the best dribbling I've ever seen. And it was just
Rob,
incredible.
Can you by any chance? I think I just played. That's the guy I just lost to. Can you check who it was? Was it not to Brad? Because
No.
that's the only one I know who uses Figo, and I just played against him, and he did the same thing.
So the guy that had Figo wasn't a good player.
Okay.
The top 100 player was after the Figo game. The guy that had Figo was horrible. He beat me 4-3 on 4 counterattacks. So it is what it is. I was already upset about it. It was like one of those games. I probably should have shut him down better. I got a little greedy. I instantly bought Varane after that game. Because I just been holding off because I liked what 1 million coins looked like in my bank account. But then I bought Varane after that game and then played a top 100 player. So it is what it is. I'm done for the weekend. I think I'm 5-4 or something now. After that disconnection glitch. So yeah, I go from potentially 7-2, 2 deserved losses to 5-4 is always tough. But Felix, I've talked long enough. How's your weekend going?
I've had another nightmare. Jesus, I can't even speak. I started 10-0, which is decent. Then I took 2 losses in the first 15 to go 13-2, and I went 18-2, which is alright. And somehow now I'm 19-6. So can't get much worse from here. I don't know. I've got 5 games left. I'll play them later on, try and get a lead. But I'm so lost with this game. Honestly, I don't know how to play it. I don't know how to win without parking the bus and counter-attacking, because I just don't enjoy doing that. It's not the way I want to play, so that's not the way I'm going to play. But it's tough, man. It's tough with this new patch as well. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter of people saying it's make the game slower in general. I don't know if that's necessarily the patch or just what the gameplay is like, to be honest. I believe it's the latter, but I did feel the same. The gameplay was really bad this weekend. Turning was difficult. It is difficult in normal gameplay, as it is in this game, but when the gameplay is bad and slow and unresponsive, then you're gonna have a hard time if you're trying to turn. But yeah, with the Elastico basically gone as well, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's relatively useless now. I'm not a fan of it at all.
I never really. The Elastico wasn't really a big part of my game anyway. I get what you're saying, but I don't see how that really helped you. Beat Park the Bus. I don't understand how that really helped you. Maybe you got a glitchy way. Like you glitched your way through the defense, maybe? I don't know. I don't feel like the change to Elastico really made that much of a difference, personally.
It did for me, because I relied on it heavily in attack. I don't know, you've watched my streams a couple of times. I don't know if I've done it there, but basically when you're facing the sideline...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly how you used it. I remember.
And you can just get round the defender and turn the corner and accelerate away from him, and it's just not a thing anymore. When you're shoulder to shoulder with a defender and you hit the Elastico, you're just too slow. You can't accelerate away, and the defender's going to get the ball. And yeah, I need to think of something, because what my game is like now basically is just trying to pass and constantly resetting, and there's just no gaps, and I can't accelerate away with the Elastico to create the space. So
Have you had
I'm a bit lost right now.
Have you had Aubrey go through over your gameplay or no?
Not yet. I wanted to do that sometime next week, but the thing is, I've not got any gameplay from post-patch. I've only got pre-patch stuff.
But do you
help
think?
as well.
I'll get into my kind of feedback from, because I did my session. You were there with Aubrey. What was it? Tuesday or Wednesday? I forgot which day exactly. But we
sometime this week anyway.
Yeah.
I was watching. Yeah.
I'll go through like how it helped me a little bit, but before I get into that, do you honestly feel a big difference from the patch other than the elastical nerf? Do you feel like the gameplay is slower? Because I personally don't feel any difference. I just feel like the servers are just not as good.
I think it's the servers, to be honest. It always is the servers. I've never seen a patch where the gameplay speed changed. I don't think that's ever been a thing, or where I felt it changed.
Yeah,
it was
no.
always the servers, because it went back to normal, I want to say, at some point.
I mean, we were praising.
The servers are shocking this
sorry.
weekend. Excuse me?
Sorry, I just want to say we were talking even not last episode with Aubrey, but like 2 weeks ago, we were praising the servers a little bit. We had talked about the rumor that it was the ping was shown only halfway, so basically you to the server, not the server back, which seemed to be true because in the latest patch notes it showed that was the case. They said that there was a visual glitch for that, but it was just visual. The connection wasn't changing. So we kind of praised the servers a little bit at the start of the year, and I mean we did say that it was under the caveat that right when the game comes out, we're hardcore players. Not everyone pre-orders, plays their trial games, and doesn't necessarily get it right away. We'll see. Now we're seeing it more. People have gotten the game because I think the overall response to the game was positive the first 2 weeks, and I think there are generally people out there that wait until you get some actual reviews from players they believe in. To see if they want the game's worth it or not. So yeah, we're getting some more people. I'm interested to see Christmas time when the new consoles come out. That we should be getting those in 2 weeks, I think, if you pre-ordered an Xbox.
You're right. It
2
is.
weeks.
It's in like 10 days.
It's like
What, isn't
November.
it
It's
11th?
around the same time
No,
COD comes out. So around
but
the
FIFA
November
doesn't
13th.
come out till December.
I don't know exactly the day, but I think it's 12th, November 12th,
No,
right?
FIFA.
Is
Yeah.
Xbox?
No, I think it's 11th or 12th for Xbox, but FIFA doesn't come out until December, correct?
Yes, but you can play the current gen
Right.
version on next gen.
Do
Essentially, it's
you
backwards
guys
compatible.
think the next gen version of FIFA 21 will be a massive difference other than graphically? Do you think the animations or
they're advertising it quite heavily, so I think there's going to be
Really?
a difference. It's one of those, I don't know. EA is obviously a mastermind of
Yeah.
advertising, but the way they're like promoting the heck out of it, saying like, "Hey, it's free to upgrade. Just do it." Like, I honestly think it's gonna. I think these things we don't like outside of maybe AI blocks. I think the things we don't like they haven't patched yet because they know it's
Yeah.
essentially a patch when the new game comes out.
I think so too. I don't know if maybe the like collision system is going to be a little bit better on next gen or something. I'm excited to see what it's like. The only thing I'm worried about is I mentioned a few pods ago, Xbox is already kind of limited in who you play against. I don't know how Series X is going to be. Like if there's enough people switching over.
I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think the majority of the players is going to switch straight away.
Me either.
Question: because we're playing technically the old gen version on the next gen until December, obviously. So from November 12th, I guess, when we get our consoles, till December, whenever the game comes out. So we're playing people on Xbox One, right? Still, I know the markets are going to be the same no matter what throughout the whole year. But I would imagine if you're playing a backwards compatible version, you're playing the same player pool that you would have played. Obviously, just you're on the new console.
I mean, you're
I would
not
have to
playing
imagine.
the Series X people if you're still on the One.
But I'm saying when we get our Series X,
He's
next
saying
week,
if you're
or 2
playing the
weeks,
backwards compatible version of it,
compatible version,
who are you
of
going
the
to
game.
connect against? Are you going to connect?
I would assume the servers mean it's the backwards compatible servers, it's backwards compatible build. So I imagine you'd still play the Xbox One people.
From what I've heard, literally, is that there won't be a mixture between the generations.
No, but that's when the new generation comes out. The new generation of FIFA doesn't come out until December. I'm talking from November to December. There's this weird gap where I'm gonna be on the next gen console, but with the old gen game.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
So I imagine I'll be playing Xbox One when I'm playing on my Xbox Series.
I'm
X
pretty
or
sure you're gonna end up. I mean, otherwise, no one's like. There's.
Yeah, no, then I wouldn't. If that's not the case, why Joey and I are not going to be touching
Yeah,
Xbox
until-
Series X.
Right.
Like,
I've
why
not
would
thought
we-
about that. I don't know. That's interesting.
it has to be, yeah. And then once December hits, we'll actually see what happens. It's almost bad. I wonder if they did that on purpose with Christmas, or they just weren't ready.
I think it wasn't
Could be
ready.
a
I
case
think
they
it
just
wasn't
weren't
ready, and that's probably why a patch hasn't even been out yet as well. It's just they probably fine-tuned a few things, and most likely will still be fine-tuning a few things once the new one comes out. I'm interested to see how it feels, though.
I lost my train
Felix,
of
did you
thought.
ever say your record? Did you ever say your
or
record when
Felix?
you're talking about Weekend League? I might have missed
Oh.
it. No,
Yeah,
Felix.
he did.
Yeah, I'm 19-6 right now. I said I've got 5 games left.
Okay.
I've lost motivation completely, to be honest. It's just frustrating. Like I got to a point where I thought, like, I just don't want to play this game at all anymore, if I'm honest, because I just don't enjoy it. But I know for a fact I will want to come back to play it, and I'm going to be annoyed if I don't play now, because I'll be at a disadvantage in the future, if you get me.
Well, are you though?
Even
Because
though
you
this game-
you got a pretty good squad, so I don't think you'll be in a disadvantage from that point.
Well, it depends how long of an off time I've got in it.
Well, remember,
I don't
It's
think your
not like I'm
squad's
going
going
to be
change too
heavily out
much.
teamed. It's not the case.
Yeah.
I just won't be in the position I want to be in. But
You know,
I don't
rusty, not exactly understanding the meta. Well, not meta, but like, you know, if they do patch AI blocks,
Yeah,
you're going
yeah.
to be behind the 8 ball if you stop playing, sort of thing.
just this game, as frustrating as it is the only thing I can actively do that has to do with football, other
Yeah.
than watching football.
yeah,
Because I can't
Mm-hmm.
play anymore myself. So
yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you for sure. I mean, even with here in Chicago, they just locked down restaurants and bars and stuff. So my weekends have been pretty much, gaming. Unfortunately, like
it's not even just about lockdown.
Oh, I know,
though,
I'm
though.
just
If there's
saying.
not lockdown, I physically cannot play football anymore properly.
no,
I
I
can
know.
play for like a month and then I'm out for 3 months again because of my knee.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
But I'm saying in
yeah,
general,
that's
like,
a bit sad.
but you remember our conversation before the game came out? It's like, where are you trying
I
to?
remember.
I think that kind of hit me again this weekend because, like, obviously last weekend, actually, I never went over that. I got 26-4. I choked the last game. That's the game Aubrey did a review or coaching session with me on because it was a very winnable game, but I choked it. And I knew from there, I was like, that was probably my best chance to hit 27 because I had beaten multiple verified players. I had beaten a pro. So I was like, that was my best chance because my kryptonite, this is back from like FIFA 17. My kryptonite has always been 4-1-2-1-2, park the bus counter, or 4-2-3-1, park the bus counter. I just, that's my hardest thing to beat, and the majority of verified players don't play that way. The majority of the, let's say, 1800 skill rating in division rivals players that's how they play. So until I can consistently beat those players, that's when I'm going to be able to get to Elite 1 easily. Right now I'm at an Elite 2 level. It's pretty easy for me to, it looks like I can pretty easily get 25, but making that jump from Elite 2 to Elite 1, Aubrey's feedback really helped me out. Because I knew my defending was solid, and he told me, he's like, you did everything right defensively. The goals you conceded were just that's just what happens when you play the 3-5-2. You sometimes do get countered, and if you don't move your defenders in the right places at the right time, you'll concede, which is what happened to me. Now, the attacking, my chances that I had, I fluffed big time. I just was not patient enough, and I didn't utilize the things that he had told me to with like the double tap R1 or RB to get that sprint dribble or bridge dribble.
The bridge.
Yeah, to do it into open space.
I've been trying to work that
I've
in
been
as well.
trying to.
I need to remap my buttons for that. I need to remap my buttons.
Yeah.
Just so I can use that. I'm at a massive disadvantage without it.
Yeah, so I've been trying to use that, but the way he told me to use it, I've been trying to practice in division rivals. I'm still trying to get used to how to use it. The biggest thing, I was L1 or LB triggering every single pass in the attacking third, which was such a bad habit, and I completely killed off that habit this weekend, and it just made such a big difference. But yeah, that's I highly recommend anyone that's struggling to reach out to someone who can analyze your gameplay, because I think it can be a massive difference. Because I was subconsciously doing that. I didn't even realize that I was doing that just from the previous years of the attacking AI being so poor. I was sending every single pass on a run, and I didn't even know. It was just subconsciously doing
I
it.
saw it. It just gets rid of any sort of option or outlet
Yeah.
for you in it, because everyone's just sprinting forwards and you can't pass it anywhere anymore.
Right. So that was one of the biggest problems that I had. that cleaned up in my gameplay this weekend, which, like I said, I've been happy with the way I'm playing. I just kind of was like, whatever. And going back to what we had discussed, Felix, before the game came out, is like the previous few years I've been taking Weekend League a little too seriously, meaning like I really wanted to hit 27, 28, but then I sat to myself and said, I'm not trying to be a pro. I'm not trying to be a competitive player. Why am I getting stressed out if I don't hit 27? Why am I really, caring that much? Now, I do care to the point where I still want to compete just in Weekend League in general, but not necessarily take it to the next pro level. But weekends like this, for example, if I'm 21-4, whatever I am, I'm content. Like, I'm happy. I don't care whether I hit 27 or not. I wouldn't care. Previous years, it would bug me until the following week. I'd be like, man, I need Weekend League to come so I can redeem myself for the previous week. So I think for you, Felix, I would really try to, how do I say this? I wouldn't put expectations on yourself, because that's what I was doing the previous years. I would put expectations for me to hit a certain thing, and then I would get upset when I didn't hit it. And I think that's what you're going through. It's like you're putting the 27 expectation on yourself, and when you don't hit it, you feel like you're not good enough or you can't play well enough. But in reality, 23, 24, 25 is insanely good. You're like better than 85% of the players that play FIFA.
I mean, that is exactly where I'm at. To be honest, I just I can't get out of that mindset of wanting to achieve that. Just I know I can, and it annoys me that at the moment I can't. I've got the ability, I'm pretty sure. There's just a couple of things, and I don't know what it is that stops me from doing it, and that's what pisses me off really. Because it's just that everyone's got those games, especially in this game, where you lose when you should have won, and you just feel hard done by. It happens all the time.
Yeah, and it's not only you. Everyone goes through that feeling.
I just want to get to a point where I feel like, okay, I got beaten fairly there. That's something I can work on, I can improve on. And I win the games I should be winning. Most of the time. I don't want to sit here every single weekend and complain about the way I lost and how I think I shouldn't have lost. Because it is just excuses in the end, isn't it? If you lost, you've done something wrong, and you probably, in most of the cases, you deserve to lose because of mistakes you made. And it's those mistakes that I'm making and I don't recognise at the moment, and I need to fix that, which is why I want to get a coaching session with Orbs as well. I've got a couple of things in mind that I think are my issue, but yeah, I just want to get a different perspective on it, because I genuinely keep making the same mistakes even though I know I make them. I just can't break out of the habits. Like, I pull my defenders out of place, I try and rush and press and win the ball back rather than just try and not concede, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
And yeah, in attack I just struggle to find the gaps, and I'm not direct enough. I feel like maybe I don't take enough risks, but I don't know. It's tough. I'm gonna have to have him look at my gameplay and try and give me a couple of tips. It's gonna be pre-patch gameplay, the one I have, the game I have in mind. But the only thing that changes post-patch essentially is the Elastico, which I know I've been abusing. So the rest is the same. So what would have worked without the Elastico before the patch will work with this patch as well, and that's where I need to get. I think it's just frustrating, man. I'm frustrating myself because I know I'm trailing behind my own ability, in a sense. And that's what gets to me more than just the like pure result that you see at the end. Is the process of achieving that. The way I'm playing is what annoys me more than anything. I've explained that really poorly, but I hope it makes a little bit of sense. It's just annoying.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I mean, Aubrey spent an hour and a half with me, and I learned a lot. Like, he broke down a lot of stuff, and I'm really, really happy that I turned to him to kind of break some things down. I gotta clean up a few more things. I use Division Rivals throughout the week to practice. It's just sometimes you come up against like people who are really, really low compared to your skill rating, like a little bit too low, which is like a waste of a game for both parties. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a way where I can practice a bit more against like other players, but it's kind of hard to it's hard to get a game from.
When you literally got to talk to people that are on that level and organize friendlies and stuff.
Yeah, but how do you find those people? That's the biggest problem.
Twitter.
True, but a lot of the times they don't want to play against you unless you're like pro level. Like the pros will tweet out pro, best of 3, whatever. I'm not a pro, so I'm obviously not going to be able to get those games.
Surely there's got to be a couple of players that are
maybe, I don't know,
going to be willing.
I know. This is kind of one thing here. FIFA analyst has in his Discord different Discord chats for what level you're at in the game and what console you're on. So he has like an Xbox, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Elite, Top 100, PC, PlayStation, same exact thing. Those 4 tiers, and then you just go in there. You message anyone that's Elite want to play a game, and then they put obviously what console. Well, you know what console it's on because it's in that.
Are there a lot of? And the thing is, NA players, because if I'm in a matchup, maybe the connection might not be that bad. I'll have to try that out.
Connection in friendlies isn't horrible from what I've seen. Obviously, it depends. I think that depends more on, especially when you're doing those kind of friendlies, more on like your each other's internets. But it depends on really what you're looking for. I don't think there's a great answer. I'm sure you could put NA. I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah. I just know in his Discord, he's had it set up so there's people that can get friendlies here and there.
There's got to be a couple of pros that you've played before that you've given a good game.
Oh, I've played.
Be willing.
Like Dan dropped you. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
yeah, he's in top 100 constantly.
Yep. So this is a good story. So back in FIFA 17, he wasn't even that good of a player, and he'll admit it to you. So we used to go back and forth, and there was a point where we had like, I don't want to say beef because we didn't hate each other, but he rage messaged me once, and I replied. And we were talking just before the pod. I don't reply to rage messages usually. I just let them rage or whatever. I don't reply to them. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't. To him, I replied. I went back and forth. And then I recently found out that he streamed, so I went in his stream, and he's like the complete opposite kind of person from what he messaged back then. But the level that he was able to get from FIFA 17 until now was crazy. The guy improved so much. But long story short, I ended up gifting him 10 subs on his channel now. So I was gonna put up one of those, that new like trend where it started, how it's going now or whatever. I was gonna put up the image of him rage messaging one another, and then the image of me gifting him 10 subs, and my camera just fell, of course. But yeah, I was gonna do that, just to get a laugh out of it. But yeah, he's a player who's really, really improved. But that's one guy I used to always get games with. But I've given a lot of the pros decent games, and that's one of the biggest hurdles I have to get is I can compete with someone who's on a pro or verified level. I struggle against the guy that's not. That's like I said before, the 1800, 1900 SR. I don't know how to beat it. It's tough. It's like tougher to beat that type of player.
This year I feel like is the first year since pretty much sometime in FIFA 18 when I got to that level where I did hit Elite ones and the top 100 finish. This is the first time where I feel like when I play someone who's on that verified pro level that I'm 100% going to lose that game.
Really?
I'm just not good enough. Yeah, I'm not confident. I'm not good on this game, honestly. I'm not.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know why you feel that way. I feel like when I come up against the verified pros, they're not doing anything. The thing that people always say is like the person who is not as good as like a verified player, they do things that are essentially unpredictable, like that don't make sense, and sometimes that will throw you off. Whereas the verified player will do things that makes like that's you see it often.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I can read them pretty well. I know the things that work in this game. I know the patterns.
Yeah.
I know all the skill moves and the combinations they do, and I know that's gonna come. But that doesn't mean I can defend it because sometimes I'm just not quick enough. My right stick switching is terrible on this game, especially. It is horrendous.
I think right stick switching.
I can never. I want to switch to my left centre back. I always get hold of the right centre back, for example. So that's something I know I need to fix, but I don't know how, to be honest. It's just practicing, and hopefully eventually it clicks. But I don't think there's that one way that's gonna make it work for me.
Are you still playing 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, I'm still struggling as well with the defender agility, or rather the lack thereof. You can't really move them that fast and set traps that well, I feel like, and that's what my defending used to be like most of the time. So that puts me at a disadvantage, and then obviously, with the way this game is in terms of AR defense and park the bus, and I struggle to break it down. I don't know, I'm just in all areas of the game I feel like I'm just not good enough at the moment, and it's mostly a couple of mistakes I think I make that will allow me to fix it and make that step. I just need to find out what it is and how to fix it, and that's the tough part about it. But
What do you guys think of the
we'll
overall
get there
game?
after
Then?
I'm
Like Rob,
out of the mud with my frustrations this weekend.
what do you guys think of the overall game after we've played it now for 3 weeks though? Like, is there, Rob? Are you like frustrated? Forget about the game being broken with the substitution glitch.
No, I've had fantastic gameplay when I've played, surprisingly, like connection wise, but that's obviously server based, and I much prefer this game than 20. I've been playing way more recently. I've done like all the friendly objectives you can do. I've actually played a little bit of Rivals. I've kind of taken a step back from Rivals. I was waiting to see if they were gonna go back to the objectives in Rivals, and that was going to determine if I was going to grind it. So I think this week, depending on the objectives, if they're if there's a lot to do, but I've already finished a lot of them because I stopped playing Weekend League early.
Do you like the overall game?
I've actually like been getting on and enjoying the game more past than I did last year for sure.
Including like the mechanics and everything. Like you don't.
Yeah, I mean, there. Like I said, I had replied to a tweet from I forget who it was, but they basically had said kind of the same thing as me, is that there's the game's in a much better spot, I think, than it's been. I think it was Tommy. I replied to him. I said this game just feels. Yeah, he thought the game felt a little better, and obviously he's talking about like AI blocks and stuff like that. But I said this game feels way more fixable than like 20 did.
Yeah.
At any point last year. Like I thought, like when 20 came out, we obviously you go through the honeymoon phase. It's a good game at the start usually, but then instantly it became like that super, like obviously drop back's still popular, but it was like a super defensive. Like even without drop back, it was just a defensive. We talked about if you played the 4-2-3-1, it just like it looked like drop back no matter what you did, because the game was just super defensive. They took out scoring. There was really no easy way to score. So this year with the shooting improvement, it just feels like they've built the game differently so that there's still plenty wrong. Like the AI blocks is bad, left stick dribbling's not very good. They've patched how defending. Even if you do defend the right way instead of just sitting back, sometimes you get those the tackle button not working properly and stuff like that. But it just feels like there's these couple like little things that are fixable, and then it's a good game. Where 20 felt like it just needed like a complete overhaul to really fix it.
I agree with that. The AI blocks need toning down, man. That's been one
Yeah,
thing.
like but it's like such an obvious thing to point to that. I just really do hope they do take that into consideration. We'll see if they wait till next gen, because,
Dude, I have a bad
like I said,
feeling.
20 felt like it was an entire game
I have
issue.
a bad feeling they're
where,
not going to fix it.
Yeah, same. The thing is, we don't get any communication once again, because the next patch is already out on PC, where a lot of things are addressed, and there's no mention of AI defending and AI blocks and all that stuff. And you know what they're like when you send your feedback on Twitter, you tweet them, whatever channel you choose, you never get a response from them saying, we hear what you're saying and we're looking into it. That's all I'm asking, is just please acknowledge that we're saying this and that is a problem, and tell us, like, you're taking care of it in one way or another. If you then think it doesn't need addressing, then I'd recommend seeing a doctor, to be honest, but that's an entirely different topic. At least acknowledge what we're saying and the feedback we're providing, and never feel like we're heard. We just get a patch with things that are done, but we never see the process to that patch. We never see the feedback process, the considering what the community says process, and they never communicate on that level with us. Maybe they listen, and then they just do, but we never get told that they're listening, or we never experience them listening, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what happened here was, you had Corey and Zaro come on. The whole goal was, really be transparent and try to get that. And then, obviously, what happened, the whole thought of the abuse they're getting, the personal account stuff. When it's in favor for them, it's not a personal account, and then when they're getting abused, it's all of a sudden becomes a personal account. So they try to switch, and so what I think happened is, they gave us what we want. We wanted an EA direct account. But what came with that was EA being like, "Oh, what we gave you we gave you your wish with that," and then they just stopped all communication. It was almost like feels like a way like 10-year-olds handle fights.
Yeah.
You give them the cold shoulder,
Yeah.
because we basically essentially as a community bullied them into doing what they should have done from the start and having this direct communication account. They felt like we were bullying them, and now they're just like, you know what, going back, essentially reverting back to EA pre-FIFA 19, I'll say. So FIFA 18 before, where there was zero communication at all, because there was good communication with Corey and Zaro.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It just came down to the fact that
people gave them abuse for no reason, like shooting the messages.
Yeah, I don't blame I blame the people that gave them abuse, because obviously you shouldn't give people abuse, but also the way they handled it was horrific as well. But it's because they had to handle it that way, because it truly was their personal accounts. But now they try to Corey tries to get the success from it as well, because he has Twitter followers now, but they did the right thing with the direct account. They just need to actually utilize that direct account, because it literally is only used now when servers go down, and all it says is, hey, we know the servers are down. That's it. That's what it says.
Literally all of the time they're just retweeting EA help or something.
Yeah, and so it's essentially not even become a direct communication, but it's only direct communication for things they want to communicate.
Yeah.
Where at least when the idea when I think FIFA 19 was really when they got more transparent, and it's gone backwards in that sense. But I don't know, and obviously Corey left, but
isn't he trying to stream?
I don't think it was all him that was good or bad, but
he's
things
trying to
change.
Stream, right? Isn't he trying to stream?
Does he? I don't know.
He's not. He has his office set up to stream, but I think he was more just talking about how he. I think he just posted it. I don't follow him anymore, so I don't know.
I stopped following as well after that. After that tweet, I was like, is this guy really going down that route? Like after everything?
I know he works for another company,
like
another game. He works for another he's doing the same thing just with a different company. I think almost similar to when Rob Hodgson left for Fortnite or Epic Games, obviously. But I think he's working with another company, but I think he also posted that. I just saw it retweeted. I unfollowed him when the direct account came out. I unfollowed him and Zaro because it's their personal accounts, and I don't really care for their personal takes. I just was there because I had to follow them for FIFA news, but. I think that's transparency, but I think we move on here. We didn't talk about it last week, so we can talk about it a little bit more this week, but specifically Rule Breakers, the promo. We didn't really talk about the promo at all. We just kind of gave some players, but we got Team 2, and we've also got some new objectives, so I was wondering what your guys' thoughts on the team as a whole, the promo as a whole, I know you guys aren't big objectives and SBC players because your teams are just so good, but I know Joey switches his team up, so is there any players you're looking at from Team 2?
Yeah, the Quadrado.
Or
I haven't tried any. Have I? No, I haven't tried any. The Quadrado though at right back, because I'm playing the 3-5-2 now, which was what I played last week as well. I switched out of that 4-2-3-1. I can't play it, man. It's too boring. So I switched to 3-5-2. That Quadrado looks really good because you can probably push him up to the right mid position, and I think he'd play the right mid very, very well. Obviously, you still got 5-star skills there. Who else looked all right? Di Maria looked okay as well. Granted, he's got 2-star weak foot, but that little pace upgrade that he got makes him pretty solid. I don't see the hype over Pogba. I think people are overhyping that card up.
I don't think anyone sees the hype, but for some reason was expensive. I know he's dropped.
Ignore the Man U hoodie, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm not a Man U fan, but this was on sale at Ross. For those who are in North America, you know what Ross is. Can't beat a $7 hoodie.
I don't, but
so, anyways.
He's down though. He's about 1 million coins less than when he came out. So
yeah. So
wait, how expensive is he now?
857.
857
on Xbox.
Yeah, still too expensive.
I know he's like 1. It is. I know he's 1.6 originally.
I like the look of that Alex Teixeira card. I think he's
that's a good card too.
Yeah, people like this regular card a lot. There's some good players there. I mean, Van Aanholt kind of fits a need,
Yeah.
Left back prem isn't amazing. I know people have Tellez, but most people, if they have a prem team, they hybridize it with Varane and Mendy over there. So they've been it gives it an option there. Opara is insane. He's just in a bad league.
Yeah, he's hard to link.
His card is so sick.
I like the idea of the promo. I think they did it to kind of showcase what's to come, because. Remember before release, they were talking about how they're going to be able to increase certain statistics of players this time around. I think they're trying to show okay, here's what we're going to be capable of this year. So I'm hoping that the upcoming promos are going to be, doing more of this kind of stuff. I think that's going to be cool to see, especially if they have a new promo for Christmas or whatever. Because I don't like the whole SBCs that they do for Christmas. I've never been a fan of the SBC players that they come out with.
The first year was cool because it was like a daily countdown thing, and that was something fun. But you can't do that every year because it comes they obviously we know trading and they hate traders and predictions and stuff like that. It becomes too easy to predict what's coming next. Obviously, if you do something consistently every year, so they've tried to be creative with it. But yeah, no, I haven't really liked FUTmas since really the first year. I think it's been pretty dead.
Is there going to be a promo
So I wouldn't mind
every
something
week
different
now, or how's this going to work? Yeah.
A promo every week? Do you mean?
Yeah. Is that how it worked last year? Was there a promo every single week from here on out?
I mean, near enough. Sometimes
No.
there was
Pretty
there
close
was a week
'cause they're
where,
2 weeks.
where there's nothing, but it's near enough every week we had a promo because they stretched it out to 2-week promos as well.
Which I actually kind of like a little bit because it keeps things. It really just keeps things in packs at all times, which is what they want. But I think it's also good for your regular player too. Not necessarily even open FIFA points, but they've been way more consistent with like these daily pack SBCs. I know a lot of them are untradeable, which is annoying, but they're kind of like they've added new fun SBCs. Elite thought of one because I don't know if you saw that one that you had to have like a 76 overall team or something like that, but you couldn't have silver player and stuff like that. There's just different newer requirements they've never used before. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head because it's a couple days old, but so they've been trying to think of creativeness like that. But I don't think we'll have a promo next week, right? As of now, at least. This promo ends on Friday, I would imagine, or Thursday, and I don't think we have one next because we're in unless they bring back Movember, which they haven't done since FIFA
17.
It was. That was a useless promo.
It was.
It was so useless because what they do, they just give everyone strength or something. Was that what it was?
5 physical or something. It was.
Yeah, which is it's something different and it promotes a good cause if it
Yeah,
if they did something like
I liked it for the cause, yeah, but the cards were just a bit pointless.
Yes, and they didn't really pick good cards. There was.
I remember did Lacazette and Ibrahimovic not have one?
They did. I believe
Yes.
they did.
Lacazette was
Wasn't
sick.
it FIFA 17? Lacazette got a special card in every single one. Didn't he get like a League SBC as well?
He got a League SPC and he had a team of the season. That's one of my favorite strikers ever on the game.
Yeah,
It was,
man. The more we talk about at the time FIFA 17, I was frustrated with AI defending, but the more I remember the game, I remember I probably had the most fun on it, despite it being 40 games a weekend. I remember I hit 36 or 37 wins with like Pjanic as one of my outside cams in a 4-2-3-1. Like it was crazy the amount of players that you could use that year. I don't know what.
I was terrible at FIFA 17. I got 30 wins once as my best. FIFA 18 was when I started to become a half decent player.
FIFA 17 is when I started like all content creation and stuff like that. So I was actually on stream not too long ago the other day. I had packed this guy. His name's Dewan Holmes. He's just an American that plays for Derby, in the championship. But I all of a sudden packed him. I was like, why do I remember him? And I looked at him, my second or third ever video on YouTube or whatever. He's in it, and he scores 3-4 goals for me. And he was a bronze. So I started looking at some old FIFA 17 videos, and I was like, yeah. So I started down the path of looking at FIFA 17 videos. I was like, I don't know I think what it was that Weekend League was so new that no matter how bad the game was, it was never going to be bad. It was really the start of this competitive trend we talked about, and now we're at the point where it's stale. But then it was so new that I don't play 30 games now. I played 40 games a few times back then. That pretty much goes without saying. But how new it was. But yeah, no, it was fun. I don't think promos now are better. So this is actually a good little transition. What I want to talk about though is I've been obsessed with these. I know you guys won't be as much, but the FUT friendlies, the live friendlies. And what they've done, and trying to change up how we obtain cards and stuff.
I prefer it over
it's been
Rivals.
such a good addition.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they actually did listen on this because we didn't get tournaments back, but they essentially gave us what tournaments was. Really, all we wanted from we didn't really want tournaments. It wasn't like we wanted DKT back necessarily. What we wanted was the requirement part back, and every week it seems like we're gonna get the silver lounge, which is you have to win 3 games or 2 or 3 games, score 8 goals. And assist 6 goals with a full silver team, and you get basically a silver team of the week from that week. Which I've been asking for more silver team of the weeks just in general because I think they're fun. I want bronze team of the weeks and stuff like that. I think they're just make for fun cards, especially for fans like Felix and I who enjoy teams in lower leagues or that have silvers and bronzes in their starting 11 that are never going to get special cards essentially.
I'd rate that. Yeah. I mean, my team's shit, so we're never going to get a silver or bronze in for because we just don't play well enough. But
yeah,
I like the idea of it.
There's the chances there.
Well. Remember, I believe FIFA 17 was the last one when we did have a bronze and silver community team of the season, the most consistent. And you could pack bronzes, team of the season bronzes from bronze pack method, and it was great. I don't know why they got rid
Yeah.
of it. It's same with the informs. There was
Because bronze pack
a lot.
method
There's
got
like
too
two or three
popular.
bronze informs a week or something, but it was good. It was fun.
I think bronze pack method got too popular, and people would make so much coins. Because I've said every week we should get 3 team of the weeks essentially: a gold team of the week, a silver team of the week, and a bronze team of the week. I know
That's
it's a
what I
lot of
said as
cards,
well.
but like what is outside of bronze pack method, and you know you may be, but it's not like bronze pack method is fun, so it's not like a lot of people do it. It's boring, but it's just very. It's not even efficient. It's efficient, but not it's effective, but not efficient.
Yeah.
Because like if you do bronze pack method, it's gonna
It
work.
is a
You're gonna
very
make coins.
safe long-term profit method.
Yes, and there's no negative. Like you're never gonna lose
Yeah.
coins unless you don't know how it works. But like, so I get that they don't want to give too much coins. But really, what is the negative of a bronze team of the week every single week? Like and a silver team of the week, and what if they could add the bronze lounge and you can earn a bronze team of the week each week, and just because like it would be fun. What people miss from the old FIFAs is that silvers were usable. They were never usable. They were never as good as the gold cards.
Oh no,
you
they
just,
were.
You just
Are
came
you
up
kidding
against
me?
other silvers as well.
No,
so
no,
it
no.
kinda
Wait,
evened
what
out.
FIFA are we talking about here?
I know FIFA 13 and FIFA
Yeah,
12
way
were
back.
Yeah, there were
silvers were
some-
good, but like that's because we also didn't have promo cards either. So gold cards were just gold cards all year. There was not a huge gap. They were like once team of the season comes around, silvers weren't as good.
True, but I mean, I
But at the gameplay, there was no competitive
that's true.
gameplay, so
Too,
you were
but
never
you
really
could give
trying
someone
that
a
hard.
game though.
I could win Division 1
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, you could give someone a game with silvers though, like with the 5-star skillers.
I mean, we talked about FIFA 13. Alexander Esfan,
Right.
75 overall gold, is one of the best cards in the game.
Barbo, was that FIFA 13? Barbo and Doumbia.
I think it was.
Uh,
I don't know. Before
Barbo
the
was
time
in
anyway,
both, but
Dude,
the trio of a Barbo, Doumbia, and Gervinho, I believe,
Yeah.
was FIFA
that
14.
was. Those were the days.
But I think that's just due to the fact that there wasn't as many special cards back then either. So like the gap never got that far between them. Because like there's still meta players now, Alex Teixeira being one of them. Like that Alex Teixeira card, I mean, I'm using Ousmane Dembele. I know he's an 83, so we're not talking silvers, but you know, he's an 83 overall that at now competes with a very, very good teams right now. But as soon as we start, you start wrapping up more special cards, I play icons more, icon defenders. He's not going to be able to be there anymore. And I think that's what's changed since, those FIFA
Speaking of
13
meta,
days.
what do you guys think about that new Denayer SBC? Is it Denayer or Denayer?
Yeah, he just came out today. I haven't actually looked at him
Denier?
yet. Denier,
Yeah.
Jason.
I think
We'll call him
the
Jason.
card looks good. Just problematic to link.
Yeah, Belgian. Liga, no one really uses
You're
Liga.
right. There's not.
Marquinhos I played against, he was actually pretty solid. So I mean, you could, and then I guess you can't put Courtois in that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you don't really know how to link him, but yeah, no, everything. There's nothing bad about him.
You can link him with the pie, right? But the pie isn't. I'm not a big fan of the pie.
Yeah, no, he's not as good as he was last year.
Who else can you link him with?
Akinfenwa, that was fun.
Yeah.
I just finished him last night.
I might have
It was actually
I might have
super fun to do.
that.
You
I've
had to
not
build-
played any of them, but it does seem quite fun.
It's something. So obviously we talk about we have nothing else to do during the week anymore because rivals is pointless because your rival points are gone by the weekend. It gives me something to do during the week. I did Akinfenwa because I was so sick of weekend league, but it gives me something. Like there's that new one, Managerial Masterclass, that came out. I don't know if you saw that one. You have to build a 77 or below team using no bronzes or silvers. I think you might not be able to use silvers either. You might be able to use silvers. I know you can't use bronzes. So essentially, you have to have like a very non-meta gold team. Like,
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to bring up and something I saw on Twitter this morning and I replied to is, so friendlies, they recently made it that it doesn't use contracts or fitness last year. Obviously, there's no fitness this year, but now loan cards, obviously in friendlies last year, didn't use contracts on their loans, but now we actually have a reason to play friendlies this year. So should friendlies use contracts, or essentially should loans go down if you use them in these friendlies, or should they just be somehow ban loans from these friendlies? I don't really know what the fix is, so I was going to ask you guys. You maybe haven't played the friendlies too much to see, but the new one that came out this week, the League SBC, so it's no longer, they're going to do a League SBC I think still, but they're essentially doing a league friendly. So there's a League One friendly right now, and you have to win 15 games, the full League One team, score goals. Every single person that got the game early or pre-ordered the game got a loan Mbappe. So you can essentially use him in every single game in friendlies, and he'll never run out of contract. So you essentially have an Mbappe in your club. And it's something that I know got brought up last year because, like Team Takedown or Squad Builder Showdown, I don't know if you guys watch those YouTube videos, they always play in friendly mode. So Like someone was complaining when someone lost and they had to discard Mbappe. He didn't go and buy Mbappe. He discarded his loan.
Oh my god!
But it's
That's
like,
silly.
but like, I don't know if it was that or whatever. Someone was saying like, if you use Mbappe's loan, should you have to go buy him? He's like, yeah, you probably should. But like, to them, I'm talking like AJ3. To him, a loan is essentially like owning the card if you think about it, because he only ever plays in friendlies.
Yeah.
They'll never not play in friendlies for those YouTube series. So essentially, having the loan is like owning the card, and he's essentially discarding the card. For them, it doesn't matter either, because they can just load up FIFA points whenever they want. So the coins, honestly, discarding the loan is more valuable than, discarding 600k. Or obviously Mbappe is more, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. I think it was B-Walds on Twitter had talked about he's tried to have fun and do the Liga player. It's actually not a horrible card. A little fun thing to do, but he's like he legitimately played Mbappe in every single game, because every single person has him, obviously. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts on how to fix that. Or
maybe for them, they just, I don't know what the objectives are like, but maybe for some of them they should just add a stipulation where you can't use loans, and for the silver ones, I don't know if it is that way. I've not looked at them too closely, but maybe just don't allow any other card type on the team other than silvers of some sort.
No, so the silver lounge. Silver lounge is 100% silvers.
Okay, that's good.
You have to have a silver starting 11 and bench.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way
obviously,
it should be on those.
Now it's fun because if you do them every week, your team gets better because you're essentially getting silver team of the week. So I have silver Vidra from Burnley. Mm-hmm. I have silver. I forget his name. He's from Nashville in the MLS. His card's sick. He's a German. He's got like 4-star skills.
Is
he's
it
a left winger.
Mukhtar, I believe.
Yeah, and then they just obviously came out with silver Moise Keane because he's had a good week. So it's they legitimately, they're team of the week, so they legitimately earned him in real life, which is fun.
I want
even better.
Fenwa because memes.
Yeah, he's sick. Apparently he's sick too. They gave him 46 agility.
What I was going to do though is do a bit of a throwback to what I used to do in FIFA. I believe it was 18. I had a full Japanese silver team because there was some of the players I liked in real life. From just watching them, there's a couple in the Bundesliga that were decent, and I wanted to use them. And I thought, you know what? These are hard to link. I don't want to use full Bundesliga silver. Like you're gonna see loads of the OP ones. So I just built a full Japanese silver team because nobody ever did that, and I never faced it. So I just played with them, and I won the DKT with those. I won Division 1 with that silver team, and that was a lot of fun. So I wanted to go back to them and build a full silver Japanese team once again. The thing is, I don't know if we'll ever get an informer something that will fit in that team. I certainly hope so. Or any special card of some sort I want to put into that team. But that is what I want to use in the Silver Lounge.
It's fun. I enjoy it. So I had the same thing. Aruna Kone was one of my favorite players in old FIFAs.
I remember that. Aruna Kone.
Yeah, so my team used to be called Kone's son.
I remember that.
Like he was literally. I used to use him all year. I don't have the account anymore because it's on my old gamer tag. But on FIFA 14, I think I had like 500 or 600 games played with him. And I used him in every single team.
Was he gold back then?
Yeah, he was a 76 non-rare gold. 1 year he was a rare one, and then he went to non. He was on Everton, so I get to build a BPL sick team around him and just have him up top. So I've been, and he moved to the Super League a couple years ago, and he's been silver. So anytime there's been a silver objective, silver, like you said, weekend league or DKT, I should say, I always use a Super League team. So I've still done that. I built a Super League team. He's just not in the game anymore. But yeah, this Akinfenwa card got 41 agility boost, 42 acceleration boost. It's apparently a finisher in the Discord had used it. He said it actually doesn't feel clunky.
Wow.
That is interesting, to be fair. I kind of want to use him now. I've seen someone tweet, one of the people I follow, I believe it was Mixman. Most people won't know him, I believe, but I think it was him that tweeted. He was 15-0 in Weekend League, and his opponent subbed off, I don't know who he started, like Zaha or something, first minute, and subbed on Akinfenwa straight away.
That's great.
And I mean, I like what they did here. So obviously they're boosting up a silver card. So they had, and it was a card that's obviously not very good. It's just more of a meme. So what they did is to stick to the rule breakers. They have to lower something. They essentially only lowered his passing.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect his card negatively, which is awesome. Which is really cool. Is they stuck to the promo in a way. Obviously not exactly. It doesn't really change the play style. But they did something and they made a card that's fun and now they've maybe past years you'd be like, well, what am I going to do? When am I ever going to use a silver special card? But now we have Silver Lounge every single week, so I bet you there's going to be a lot of Vidra Premier League hybrids with Akinfenwa up top as well.
They could just completely take the piss with this one and do strikers and then downgrade their defending as the rule-breaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of defeats the
That-
purpose, but it would be funny.
Yeah. That would make it more usable too. Like obviously, some people have talked about well they come with the SBCs, the you pick SBCs. We talked about Inaki Williams last week. I did him. He's actually way better than his gold card. I know he's got the 2-star weak foot, but I don't notice it too much, here and there. But made him so much better, even though they cut off some of his pace. I was worried that those meta cards like him, Rodrigo, and stuff are only really meta because of their pace. They cut it off, but they improved his agility and balance so much that I actually can dribble through teams with him now. So they've done really well with this promo, and I hope it's something we see to come forward more. And I've really I haven't seen an objective in Rivals since week 1, which is amazing because that is literally my biggest gripe with the game. As someone who does all these objectives,
great that that's gone. Yeah, I hope they keep it that way because I really truly hate Rivals objectives.
Yeah, for you guys, we spent the whole better part of 40 minutes of this podcast talking about how you guys are trying to improve and get better.
Yeah.
But if you wanted in prior years, you had to either improve or get better or have fun with the objectives. Like, when was the last time you've really grinded objectives? Probably never, because they've been in Rivals. What's the point? Like, there's no... You're not going to put yourself at a disadvantage.
FIFA 19 I did a lot, but it was easy then, because you didn't have to play football, let's just put it that way. You just had one OP attacker, stuck him out on the wing, and then just build a scrubby team around them that fits the requirements and just spam the RB volleys and just cheese your way to the objective card. So that's what I did, at least. I'll admit that.
Or the other option was to relegate him.
Yeah,
and
I never really.
But that you couldn't do you couldn't do that if you want to also try to use Rivals as a practice mode, like Joey had said earlier in the podcast.
Way back
there's no
at the end in team of the season, I believe I did relegate, or I went down on the bottom edge of Division 1, so I would stay in Division 1 but get a little bit easier or more favourable matchmaking. But it's just a bad system to have objectives in Rivals. There's no real
you can't call it a competitive mode and then also have we'll say friendly stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I know the last thing I want to say on this friendly stuff, because I think a lot of casual listeners will also enjoy this, because during the week we found there's something to do during the week that's not Rivals, and now there's no point into playing Rivals during the week, so it comes down to these friendlies. But what they did is this year they've added skill-based matchmaking in friendlies, which I know has gotten a lot of hate. But one thing I think I put this on Twitter as well, is I'm not against the skill-based matchmaking.
It just can't be
in friendlies, because even in friendlies, I'm not I'll say in friendlies, the true just no rules or those, or whatever the other ones are, King of the Hill and stuff like that. Those ones should not have skill-based matchmaking. In these objective live FUT friendlies, I'm okay with skill-based matchmaking, because objectives were never about when they were in Rivals. It was never I hated trying to do friendlies against people of my skill level. It was never that. It was the fact that you'd go into a game against people of your skill level, and they also might not be doing the objective, so they might be using their main team. I'm okay with playing people my skill level that's also doing the same silver objective as me. I've actually had a ton of fun. Last weekend I went 3-0 with my silvers, but week before I went 3-1, so I lost the game. And the guy was a good player, but we had a very fun game with silvers. So I'm not against playing people myself. I don't want the objectives to be so easy. I log in, I complete Akinfenwa in a game and a half because I've won 8-1 or whatever because I beat some trash player, and then I'm done the objective, and now I've spent 20 minutes and that's supposed to last me the whole week. I'd rather play people of my skill level.
Yeah, they shouldn't be freebies.
But as long as they're also doing the same objective.
The objective shouldn't be freebies, or you're still getting a reward. You should feel like you earned it, not just necessarily, went and noob stomped just to go, just to go get the card. I like.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I like the matchmaking to be against someone at a similar level as you, so that when you actually complete the objective, you feel like you did it. And then there's obviously going to be those who trade wins and trade goals or whatever. That's just always going to happen.
Yeah, I had a guy message me. I didn't catch it. I have my notifications off, so I didn't catch it till after. But he said he would give me the win. He just needed a few more goals to finish up the objective. But I didn't give it to him. But because I didn't see it till after.
I kind of want a little bit of a mixed experience, to be honest. So sometimes you get a really sweaty game, sometimes you get a bit of an easier game. Then one game you get stomped. Always the same is just what makes it still. When every game you have to sweat, that's when it gets annoying. But it's silver, so my one thing that I would ask, and this is not down to EA, this is literally down to the community. The one thing I would ask is, please just play normally and try and have fun and not sweat out wins like your life depended on it. When you park the bus and all that stuff. Just play.
I've had an overall
play
positive
some
experience.
sort of balanced game and try to enjoy it for what it is.
Also, the skill-based matchmaking is super relaxed in friendlies. I can tell because I'll go out and we'll have similar teams, and I'll just go. I won last night 6-1, and like I wasn't even. I was using it was the Akinfenwa objective. So what that objective is, you have to have 5 leagues in your starting 11. So this one is a tough one. I did play against Neymar, Mbappe, and Ronaldo one game, so I quit instantly. I was not sweating out a friendly against that. No point in that. But so I had a full English team essentially because you had to score a goal with a championship player. You had to score a goal with or you had to have someone from Liverpool on your team because Akinfenwa loves Liverpool. So I had like a pretty crap team, but I won 6-1. So you do play some easy games in those friendlies, even though it's skill-based matchmaking. It's very relaxed. It's very, very relaxed. But I do notice I do play people of my skill level from time to time as well. So I think it's a good mix right now. And if you guys tried the Silver Lounge, you'll be able to see as well, and maybe you'll have different experiences.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it probably sometime this week if I find the time.
It seems like it's gonna be every week, so.
Yeah, even with all the, it's a bit of a side note, even with all the lockdowns and all that stuff going on around the world, school's still open because apparently there is no correlation between the case numbers rapidly rising again and schools reopening after summer holiday. That it just can't be that those two are related in any sort. Am I right?
You're right.
Thanks. Appreciate that. But yeah, still have to go to school. Sadly, I hope it won't be for too long, and they move over to online lessons again because I really don't
see a lot of
the point
people
in not doing it. But that's an entirely different story.
I've heard so many people on the opposite side. They've been doing virtual, like the high school near me. They're completely virtual and the kids hate it. They want to go back.
I mean,
to school.
it is a difference.
Yeah.
If you're in school full time, if you get me, if you're in high school or whatever.
Sure.
Or if you do it as additional education as an adult when you still work a full-time
Yeah,
job.
yeah. No, I
think it's very different. Because if you still work and stuff, you still get the social aspect of talking to people at work, seeing people, whatever. But it's just when you're crammed in a room with 30 other people, it's just a bit irresponsible at the moment, I feel. Especially when you're working full-time. Like, my employer is going to be delighted when 30 people are going to just be quarantined for 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, as long as people are taking, I think the biggest thing is the spread without it being without you having symptoms. But I'm sure if someone has like a fever or whatever, they'll stay home. So I'm guessing.
I mean, yeah, but then the day before, apparently you're already infectious.
Yeah.
Before you notice the symptoms.
Right. So
which is not a problem. But, I mean, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of how the disease works and stuff. I'm not an expert on this, but either way, I don't think it's a smart thing to do. They've put new rules in place because of the high case numbers. They've sort of made the rules a bit more strict.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I just don't think it works what they're doing. So what then? Completely FIFA unrelated. I just want to share this story because it blows my mind. What we have to do now is wear a mask in class permanently, which I'm fine with. I don't mind. It's a bit annoying, but you know, I'm okay with that. I just don't believe it helps when there's 30 people sat in the same room next to each other for 2 hours. I don't think the masks help a lot if it's for that long. Anyway, then they've decided we have to open a window for 5 minutes every 20 minutes to exchange the air, get rid of the viruses, whatever. Good thing is, it's gonna be winter soon, so it's fucking cold outside.
Soon.
I'm
Joey and I-
literally
We're
sat
already
right
there,
next
man.
to
I've got a
the way
jacket.
The way I sit here, you can see the curtains. There's the window. That's the exact spot I'm in school as well. So open the window. It's fucking like pneumonia season. And they tell us, oh, just bring blankets and hot drinks so you don't get ill. You're asking me to attend school with 30 people in the same classroom during a global fucking pandemic. And
Felix
then
has
you
lost
tell me
it.
to just bring blankets and tea so I don't get ill. Well, what's all the hassle with the social distancing about then? And trying to find a vaccine. If we could just carry around blankets and tea and we just don't contract the virus, it's a piece of piss. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my winter jacket now.
That's been my frustration of the week. I nearly lost my shit Monday.
Felix, how does it feel to talk to two record breakers? The United States officially breaking the world record for having 100,000 cases in one day the other day.
Oh, really?
We love that for us.
Amazing.
We USA.
Yeah,
USA.
Good on you. America first, innit?
Yeah, you gotta be first in everything.
Fuck's sake, man. It's gonna be a rough month. We're back in lockdown from tomorrow for the entirety of November. It's gonna be a rough month.
My work wants us to start going back into the office one day a week now, which is good timing with everybody else going back into lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I'm in my office, but I'm alone, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have like how many people in your office?
Right now?
4? Yeah.
Oh
well, not
no!
Right now, obviously.
Even
Sunday
so,
night.
our rooms are isolated. So if I were to show you on my camera, it's everyone has their own door. So yeah, there's 5 of us, but we have our own there's 5 units of just you have your own kind of space. So we don't even have to interact.
Yeah, ours is like 60 people.
That's not that bad then if you're isolated, but I can't do that. Like
I'm
considered
like,
a key worker apparently. Well, the job I do I can't do from home, so I have to still go into work. It's just like you can't go to restaurants anymore. Gyms are closing. I can't meet my friends. That's the toughest bit, man. I'm gonna struggle.
You could do what you do from home, but I think it's illegal.
What?
I said you probably could work from home. I just think that's illegal, like build chemicals and stuff.
I mean, not only
we are
is it
so
illegal,
far
but the
off
things
topic
I literally
right now.
cannot do at home. It's not a thing. It's not possible.
Just like start meth. I don't know.
Like what's it called? Breaking Bad.
Down for that.
Like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Felix starring in Breaking Bad too.
I could make the good stuff. Like I've got all the equipment and the chemicals to make the good stuff, and I've got the know-how as well. It's honestly not that hard if you've got access to all the things you need. But
nice. We're promoting.
The problem is once you're in that sort of environment, it's really hard to get out, and get out alive and healthy. So I don't know if I want to do that. Money's good, but I don't know. I don't think I'd do well in prison.
I think we've devolved far enough.
I think we just gotta.
I think we've devolved far enough and should call this one a quit here. Quit while we're ahead and still not in prison. So we will see you guys next week for another episode. We will talk about some more Weekend League, and we'll see if we get a promo. If not, it'll be mostly Weekend League and some gameplay. I don't think there's a patch on the horizon. I know. Wait, do we have that patch that PC had? Like PCs had like 6 patches. So I can't keep up on
We've only had one.
as well.
They're on the
4th. They're on the 4th.
Yeah, we've had 2.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting one soon. Another one. We'll have to wait and see. 2 weeks we'll get our next gen consoles, so we'll be able to see if the consoles feel different than even though we're on the old gen version of the game.
I do want to say though, one thing that we missed on is the patches that are currently out have nothing to do with the feedback they've received from us. This is all pre-release patches.
Yeah, these are like
right.
beta
so
patches.
These are not things that they've taken consideration. So even like the whole AI block thing. Look, at the end of the day, I've never been the one to think patches are going to fix anything. I think this is what we have, and that's how it's going to be. I don't think there's just not enough time to put proper testing to fix our complaints, in my opinion. I just feel like anytime they put out a patch, it's never... When's the last time a patch came out and it made the game better?
Good question.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. I'm like, I don't feel like they're gonna address anything. They're gonna try, but it's not gonna be what we think it should be. So take it at
on
that.
To FIFA 22. Let's go. That's encouraging.
Okay, yes. We sound so demoted, but I honestly, I'm still okay with where the FIFA's at. I think Felix is sad, but he wants to get better. Like, I feel like we actually all want to get better, though. At the same time, like Joey just went through the process of the OBS to try to improve. So, I do think the game's in a very fixable spot. It's just on EA to fix it now. I feel much more optimistic than pessimistic than I did about like FIFA 20. FIFA 20 was very much pessimism week in, week out, which made the podcast hard. But I've been enjoying recording these every week.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so we'll see you next week. Follow on all the podcast platforms. Follow us on Twitter. Links will all be down below. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.